welcome to Lifestyles of the Strange and Exotic Classic Book Review. This section will be on some of my favorite Star Trek novels. Now these novels are TOS, not Next Gen or anything afterwards. The only Next Geners I've got are episodes of the series that included TOS people. So, I just never, they just bore me basically. I've never even bothered with it yet. The only other DS9 one, again, is the Trials and Tribulations one. That was funny. So this is all TOS. And this one I shall be reviewing is called Vulcan Academy Murders, a novel by Jean Lura. And she has another book that I cannot recall the name of. Do I even own that one? I don't remember now. I might not, but a friend of mine might have that. Captain Kirk becomes an interplanetary homicide detective. That's the cover. You can tell this has been around a while. It's even gotten moldy. Again, this is from Pocket Books. This one came out in 1984. Number 20 in the series. They were numbered sequentially back in the day. Vulcan Academy Murders. Kirk and McCoy accompany Spock to the Vulcan Academy Hospital, seeking an experimental treatment for a badly wounded Enterprise member. Spock's mother is also a patient in the hospital and soon becomes involved in a complex drama of Spock's family. Suddenly, patients are dying, and Kirk suspects the unthinkable. Suddenly, patients are dying, and Kirk I can't speak that in English. Suddenly, patients are dying, and Kirk suspects the unthinkable. Murder on Vulcan. But can he convince the Vulcans that something as illogical as murder is possible? Until the killer is caught, everyone is in danger. This is an awesome book. It's very, I don't want to say really suspenseful. It's not like, I suppose it depends on your point of view, really. It's intriguing in a intellectual sort of way. Now, Spock's mother has caught some sort of, I don't know if she's caught a disease. It's an effect of being on it's basically what happens when you're up in space for too long. Like your bones deteriorate a bit, your heart muscle gets a little weaker because you're not dealing with the natural forces of your planet. It's similar to that because Vulcan is obviously not Earth, and it affects people some more than others. And Spock's mother ends up being affected by it. Now, this isn't written like the movie, okay? They don't, like, totally screw with the entire pantheon of, you know, what has happened before type of thing. It makes sense in the book, you know. So, you don't really get to see Amanda because she's sort of a non-player character. It's mostly with Sarek. To the two of you who might not know, is Spock's father. And certain students he has to deal with. And there's a sort of like a side plot between, it's sort of an interesting comparison on Vulcan culture and human culture. And, you know, Sarek and Amanda aren't an absolute, they're not like the only, you know, human Vulcan couple. There's a subplot where a different couple is trying to have a relationship. It's a human doctor, and it's not McCoy, with a Vulcan, I don't know if she's a nurse or not, but she's in that line of work anyways. That's kind of how they met. And it's interesting. You wouldn't expect these two to get together just because of human mindsets. You get to see a bit more of the planet and the different aspects of Vulcan culture. And I'll read the front page. Murder on a world without crime. My son should have been here by now, said Sarek. Perhaps our guests overslept. The communication console buzzed loudly. Sarek flicked the switch and Spock's face appeared on the computer screen. Father, there has been another power failure. Captain Kirk, Dr. McCoy, and I are with Storn. I'm on my way, Sarek cut him off, clamping control over the panic in his veins. It happened twice now, and if it happened a third time, the victim would be Amanda. Now, the patients in this hospital are in like a certain type of stasis field. So basically they're on life support, and if the power goes out, you're screwed, you know? So this is basically what's been happening. The power hasn't been going out in all of them, obviously. They've been randomly going out on different patients, basically. And you find out who's doing it and why, and most of them are... let's see. Now, I find it kind of funny, really, that... I don't want to say murder is logical, but there are other species on Vulcan than the Vulcans. I mean, how is murder not possible if you're dealing especially with a large human contingency? I mean, I can understand why, a certain type of people might want to be on Vulcan. I mean, it's not exactly, Risa or anything like that, or Beta Z or whatever, next gen references. But I don't know, it just seems kind of strange that basically there's not even technically a police force on Vulcan. I mean, within the Vulcan society in and of itself, between the Vulcans, I can see why that wouldn't be necessary. But when you have other species on your planet, maybe murder's second nature to them, and they want to learn at the Vulcan Science Academy, I don't understand how this is, not possible on Vulcan. But, and there's a really neat part in the story where you can kind of picture, I don't remember, no, they don't, of course not, because Vulcan has no moon. It's Vulcan and Charis, where you kind of see, during one of the movies, I think it was either 3 or 4, where it's Vulcan, you're on the planet of Vulcan, and you see this big massive planet in the sky, with little bitty planets around that. So Vulcan is like a binary planet. I think they kind of orbit each other, which I'm not quite sure is actually possible in space, but either way, it's another planet. And it's basically, if you go out and see the full moon, amplify it 50,000 times. So the way it's described in that particular scene, they go out into whatever name of the desert was, to this little mountain area. Kirk's on a date, basically. And they want to see, I think they call it Takut rising. Basically the Vulcan's sister planet that looks like a moon. And it's this huge thing that it's it must be amazing to see. So you try to picture that in your head. That's one of my favorite scenes. Just, astronomically interesting to me. And it's kind of sad, the reason why things happen, why the murderer does what the murderer does. And you're kind of glad that, Amanda misses it, because she's, in stasis most of the book. And even the Vulcans kind of have to learn a few things. They a lot of times you kind of feel the Vulcans got their heads stuck up their own butts half the time. It's it's not just Vulcan anymore. There are other, open up your minds a little more, especially, on their own planet when you're dealing with other species. So it's kind of you kind of want to smack a Vulcan after reading this. It's hello, where's the logic here? But it's compelling without being, oh my god. It's a very, I want to say calm book. I don't know. It's something, I don't know. It's a good book to read if you're wrapped up in front of a fireplace and you just want to relax and kind of give yourself a cerebral workout. It's not going to get your heart pumping, oh my god, what's going to happen next, like one of my other ones I like, and you're not going to wet yourself laughing. I mean, there are some interesting, some humorous points in here. It's not a really deep, heavy book, that type of thing. But it's definitely a book it could have been made into an episode. Again, with a budget. But as far as the characters, again, they are how you expect them to be. But it's still a very interesting book. And you do get to meet T'Pau, if you remember that episode. That she still kind of scares Kirk. and according to this book, T'Pau is the only person who ever turned down a seat in the Federation Council, which, like, that never happens. It's like the epitome of, you know, ultimate power, I guess, in Vulcan. I mean, in Starfleet. And T'Pau's like, no. So she earned a lot of respect by, like, saying, So if you like sitting around and wanting to, like, deep think, definitely check this book out. Vulcan Academy Murders by Jean Lura. And this came from Pocket Books, number 20. Thank you for watching. Again, if you'd like to offer any other Star Trek novels I might not have, not likely, but might not have, do tell down below. Ever so appreciate if you subscribe to my wee little channel. And I shall see you all later.